and welcome to the So Essential vlog. I'm Lucy and I'm here today to talk to you about the latest pattern releases. So these are patterns that have been added to our site within the last month, and as always I'll make suggestions of fabrics that I think you could pair them with, how you could style them, outfits you could create, so hopefully give you lots and lots of sewing inspiration. As always, you can find all of the patterns and the fabrics I mentioned today on our website, and the link to our website's below. And I've got entries from the Friday Pattern Company, Sew House 7 and Burda have just done a big autumn winter release as well, so they're going to be featured. I've tried to we're kind of coming to that weird in-between seasons phase. I am desperately grasping onto the last threads of summer, but you know, autumn is just around the corner. So I've tried to sort of make sure there's something for anybody in there. Anybody who's trying to grasp onto summer, there's a couple of summery makes, but then people who are thinking ahead and planning their autumn winter wardrobe, I've started to nod towards that now as well, as much as it's killing me because I really don't want the summer to ever end. But anyway, let me get started. So the first pattern I want to talk to you about is the Wilda gown by the Friday Pattern Company. Now this pattern, as soon as I saw it, it conjured up an image of somebody that I follow on Instagram, and I also listen to some of her podcasts and read some of her columns, and it's a very talented lady called Dolly Alderton. She's really inspirational. I find her inspirational. She's a lovely lady. She's written some books as well, but she absolutely nails that sort of Little House on the Prairie, romantic, frilly dress type look, and just looks utterly gorgeous every time she does it. So check her out on Instagram if you want some inspo. It's Dolly Alderton. But I immediately thought of her when I saw the Wilda gown, because it is that whole Little House on the Prairie, romantic, flowy, ruffly dress. And I think, you know, that look, that sort of peasanty look has been really, really popular for quite some time now, and it absolutely is nailed in the Wilda gown pattern. So it's a tiered dress. It can be sewn up in lots of different ways. It's got raglan sleeves. It ties up at the neck. It's easy to sew, and it's perfect for drapey woven fabrics. But it can also be made as a top as well, which I was very excited about, because, you know, not everybody is in the market for a romantic, flowy, long peasant style dress, but pretty much everyone is in the market for a nice blouse. And actually, when I looked at the hashtag Wilda gown on Instagram, there were loads of different makes, lots and lots of inspiration there, and the blouses looked awesome. They were really, really nice. They reminded me of a ready-to-wear blouse that I bought from Mango many years ago, and when I've worn it on my vlog, I've had lots of comments and compliments on it, and people saying, oh, which pattern's that? It's really nice. And actually I think the Wilda gown is a really similar pattern, because it's got the little tie at the top, and that blouse very much has got that sort of feminine peasanty look about it, and I really love wearing it. So very excited about the fact that you can make the top version as well. Size wise, the bust, the smallest measurement is 32 inch, the largest is 54. The waist is 24 and goes up to a 47, and the hips are 34 and go up to a 57. So the fabric I chose is this beautiful John Caldor Hermione fabric, which is like a lovely lightweight polyester fabric. So it's got all the movement and drape you would need for a pattern like this. I think it would make a lovely, lovely blouse, and I would just wear that with my jeans and have that nice sort of feminine look going on with the blouse, but sort of casual enough to wear every day with my jeans. So that would be my choice, but there's a whole range of fabrics really that you could make that pattern up in, and I think it would be a lot of fun to make as well. So that's the first one. The next one I wanted to talk to you about is a Burda pattern. So it's 6252, so this is part of their new range, and I was really excited to see this pattern because it's your classic A-line mini skirt, or there's also a midi length skirt as well with a button down front though. So I think there's a couple of indie patterns out there that have got this button down front, and there is a simplicity one, but it wasn't exactly the sort of thing that I had in mind, and this pattern is, and I'm really pleased to see somebody's finally done this, especially one of the big four, because it is really classic. You know, it would be a perfect sort of wardrobe staple for autumn because it could be made up in denims and needle cords and those sorts of fabrics. I mean, you could wear a denim one in the summer as well, you could wear it all year round. I think that I would probably go for, I'm quite tempted to try the midi length actually for a change. I think the mini skirt version looks quite short on the model on the packet. I would probably want to lengthen that a bit, but that would be easy enough. You could just use the lengthening and shortening lines on the pattern. But yeah, I would probably go for the midi length one, and I really like the styling on the packet actually. It harks back to that sort of Laura Ashley 1990s vibe, which is very much in fashion again now. They've made it up in a lovely needle cord, and then the model's got a chambray shirt on over a grey t-shirt, and it's just all styled really nicely. We've got some lovely chambray fabric and denim shirting fabric as well that you could do that if you wanted to go for the whole look. But the fabric I chose for the skirt, for the midi length skirt, is this lovely needle cord fabric. I think that would be ideal. It's got that sort of ditzy Laura Ashley vibe about it, and I think yeah, it would work really well styled the way they styled it on the packet. So well done there, Burda, because sometimes I think, you know, the styling on the packet of some of the commercial patterns can be a little bit dodgy. But actually I think that they've done a really good job there. It looks really nice. Size wise, Burda patterns, the waist starts at 23 and goes up to a 50.5, and the hips go from a 32 to a 59. So that's my next pattern. Then I wanted to talk to you about another Burda pattern, which is 6278. So this is a lovely V-neck blouse. I always get excited when there's V-neck options around, because I think most patterns, or the vast majority of patterns, are round necks, and it can be quite hard to find nice V-neck designs, but I find a V-neck a bit more flattering. It's got a yoke across the back which comes forward onto the shoulder there. It's got bust darts, and it's got some pleats or gathers at the back under the yoke. There's also the option to make some nice chunky cuffs as well, some really deep cuffs, which I think is another nice feature. And I just think it would be nice and easy to sew because there aren't any fastenings. I'm pretty sure there's not any fastenings. No, I don't. Oh, how does it fasten at the front actually? Oh, buttons. There's a couple. It looks like there's maybe only 2 buttons to fasten it, so it's going to be relatively easy. You know, there's no zips or anything like that. It's a fairly loose fit, so you're not going to have too many dramas with fit, and I just think it would be a good staple item in your wardrobe. I think I would get a lot of wear out of this. You could dress it up for an evening out, or you could wear it as a smart blouse for work, tucked into high-waisted trousers perhaps, and then you could let it hang out over some maybe like wet look leggings or something if you were going on a night out. And the fabric I chose for this is this lovely viscose fabric, which has got a tiny amount of stretch in it, but not a huge amount. It is a woven fabric, so it's perfect for this pattern. And I just thought that lovely deep burgundy colour would make a really nice start to your autumn winter wardrobe. But I like the way it's got these splashes of sort of turquoisey, tealy and corally sort of coloured flowers on it. I thought that was a really nice combination of colours, and I think that would work very well for that blouse. So that's that pattern. And then size wise, it's a 30-inch bust to a 57.5-inch bust is the size range, and then the waist for Burda patterns is 23 to 50.5. So that gives you an idea of your size options, which will also be the same for the next Burda pattern, which is 6292. So this is another blouse and tunic pattern. I really like this one as well. I do think that these sorts of blouses are just really useful to have in your wardrobe. I've probably got a bit of a deficit in this area at the moment. I've got a few real favourites that I reach for time and time again, and I probably need to top that section of my wardrobe up. So I was quite pleased to see this release from Burda, because there's lots of good ones in there. So there's options for a tunic or a blouse. There's options, again, it's like a V-neck, and you can either have that as like a keyhole and have a little bow that ties higher up the neck, or you can have it as like a V-neck with a pussy bow that ties lower down the neck. I think one of the ties is a bit thicker than the other. You've also got the option for sort of, there's quite sort of flared sleeves, or the option for sleeves that I think they're flared, but then they've got like pleats or gathers down the forearm, just to create a little bit of a fluted effect at the end. So some quite nice, interesting little features there. It's got bust darts. Again, it looks like it'd be relatively easy to fit, and I think I would be tempted to make the keyhole version with the high bow and then those interesting little sleeves. I think that's quite a nice, interesting little detail that I haven't seen before. So I would make this blouse up in this lovely polyester fabric here, which is actually a bit sheer, so you would either need to wear a cami under it if you don't like to wear sheer stuff, but actually for a blouse I would wear that. It's not horrendously sheer, it's just a little bit sheer, well, fairly sheer, but I would wear that probably just with my bra underneath for like a night out or something, and I think that would look really nice. And I love this fabric, I just think it's really pretty with the dark florals, which I understand are going to be fashionable again this year, so that's always good, because I do love a dark floral in the autumn and the winter. And then finally, the last pattern I wanted to talk to you about is a Soho House 7 pattern, the free range slacks. So people have been going mad for these because they are just the ultimate comfy elasticated waist trouser. They're high waisted. There's options for a more tapered leg with a little roll up, or a wider sort of culotte cropped leg. On the packet they've styled them with a cropped t-shirt, one of the views, and I think actually that would work really well. I've chosen a nice chambray fabric to make them in, and I think a crisp white cropped t-shirt with some trousers in the chambray would look really nice. Nice and fresh, great for those of you trying to hold on to summer. Size wise, the waist starts at 23.5 inches and goes up to 39.5 inches, and the hip goes from 34 up to a 50. The recommended fabrics are anything that's not too heavy, so linen, cotton linen blends, cotton twill, rayon linen blends, light to mid-weight denim, tencel twill, cotton poplin and wool gabardine. So lots of different options there. We've got a really nice linen viscose mix actually, that's the John Caldwell called Salso in black and white, and that would be really good for these trousers as well if you wanted something with a bit of a pattern. But as I say, I chose this chambray fabric. I thought that would work really well, and I think these trousers would just be ideal for, you know, those days when you just want to be comfortable, you just want to hang out around the house, or maybe pop and run some errands. I can see why they've been really popular. And they also come with options for French and flat fell leg seams as well, so there's instructions on that within the pattern as well. I think that's because if you want to make the ones with the turn-ups, obviously you want to consider what seam finishes you're going to do there. So that is my little roundup for this month. I hope you've enjoyed that. I can't wait to get cracking on some of those, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, as I mentioned, everything I talked about today is available on our site, and the link to our site's below. And as always, if you like what you see today, please like and subscribe, because we'll keep you posted. You'll get a little notification, and I make these videos every week usually, so you can stay bang up to date with what's going on in the world of sewing. Okay, I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.